Here are 12 cars that flat out refuse to die. The late 80s Toyota Corolla is basically the cockroach of cars. It refuses to die. The E90 generation had simple engines, easy maintenance, and bulletproof reliability. Even today, you'll spot them running as taxis, family beaters, or first cars around the world. Toyota was already perfecting reliability before it became their global reputation. Lightweight, fuel-efficient, and built with engines that became tuner legends, the 5th-gen Honda Civic was cheap to own and nearly impossible to kill. Enthusiasts turned them into race cars, commuters just drove them forever, and thieves, well, they loved them too. Decades later, Civics from the early 90s are still buzzing around cities everywhere. Ask any old-school Mercedes mechanic, and they'll swear the W123 was built to last a lifetime. These cars regularly crossed 500,000 miles, especially the diesel models, which were so durable they became workhorses in Africa and the Middle East. Overbuilt, over-engineered, and still admired today, the W123 might be Mercedes at its absolute peak. The Volvo 240 is the definition of safe and solid. Its boxy design may look like a refrigerator on wheels, but that design kept families alive in accidents and kept the car running in brutal winters. Built to take abuse and keep going, the 240 became one of the most trusted cars of its era, and plenty are still daily driven decades later. The Toyota Land Cruiser J60 is the SUV equivalent of a survival tool. Simple mechanics, rugged engineering, and unstoppable reliability made it the choice for explorers, aid workers, and off-roaders. In many parts of the world, they're still carrying heavy loads through mountains, deserts, and jungles. If civilization collapsed tomorrow, the Land Cruiser would probably still be running. The Jeep Cherokee XJ was a revolution when it launched, and it just wouldn't die. Its 4.0-liter straight-six engine is legendary for toughness, and the simple design made it easy to fix anywhere. These SUVs were taken off-road, beaten up, and still refused to quit. Even today, many owners say the only thing that kills an XJ is rust. The early 90s Honda Accord is remembered as one of the most reliable family cars ever made. These sedans were so well built that many families passed them down like heirlooms. Smooth engines, strong transmissions, and quality interiors meant they stayed on the road for decades. Even now, it's common to see an Accord from this era still quietly doing its job. The Toyota Hilux is the stuff of legend. Top Gear famously tried to kill one by drowning it, smashing it, and even dropping it off a building. It still started. Around the world, farmers, contractors, and workers drive Hilux trucks that are over 30 years old. If you need a truck that won't quit, this is the one. The BMW E30 is more than just a pretty face. It's a survivor. Over-engineered German build quality means these cars can handle 300,000 miles and beyond with proper care. Enthusiasts still daily drive them, and many end up sliding sideways at drift events. The E30 proves that a car can be fun, stylish, and still refuse to die. The Ford Crown Victoria was America's workhorse on wheels. Police officers and taxi drivers put hundreds of thousands of brutal miles on them, and they just kept running. Huge, comfortable, and tough as nails, the Crown Vic earned a reputation as a tank on the road. Even after being retired, many are still alive today in private hands. The Nissan hardbody pickup lived up to its name. Tough, simple, and built to work, these trucks served farmers, contractors, and families for decades. With a reputation for reliability in harsh conditions, many hardbodies are still hauling loads today. It was the kind of truck that just kept showing up for work, no matter what. The mid-90s Toyota Camry may be boring, but boring has never been so good. Over-engineered, ultra-reliable, and cheap to maintain, these sedans often hit 300,000 miles without major issues. They weren't flashy, but they saved owners from repair bills. That quiet dependability is exactly why so many people loved them. These 12 cars prove that some machines are just built different. Tough, simple, and over-engineered, they refuse to die even decades later. Now these are my personal top picks for the most indestructible cars ever made. These aren't just cars that last a long time. These are the ones with reputations carved into automotive history. And trust me, number one on this list, it survived something no car should have walked away from. Number 3, the Volvo 240. Let's start with what looks like a rolling brick, the Volvo 240. Built from the 1970s all the way into the early 90s, this thing was the definition of overbuilt. It was safe, dependable, and designed to take punishment like no other family car. In Sweden and other parts of Europe, families drove these through brutal winters where most cars rusted away or refused to start. But the 240, it fired right up and kept going. The engines were simple, the body was tough, and it was famous for being one of the safest cars ever made. Volvo actually crash tested these things to extremes, and real-life accidents proved they could take a hit and keep passengers alive. What's crazy is that decades later, you'll still find 240s daily driving, many with hundreds of thousands of miles on the clock. It's not flashy, it's not fast, but if you wanted a car that would protect you and outlast you, the Volvo 240 was the ultimate tank in disguise. Number 2, the Mercedes-Benz W123. Next up is a car that taxi drivers around the world still worship, the Mercedes-Benz W123. Built between 1976 and 1985, this sedan and wagon series might just be the most over-engineered Mercedes ever made. These cars were built for comfort and status, but Mercedes secretly designed them like military hardware. Engines that would run forever, transmissions that refused to die, and build quality so solid that mechanics joke you could use one as a hammer. Taxi fleets in Africa, Europe, and the Middle East pushed these cars way past 500,000 miles. In fact, many of them are still in service today, with odometers that rolled over 1 million kilometers. Think about that, cars from the 70s and 80s still working hard every single day in some of the harshest environments on Earth. What's amazing is that the W123 didn't just last, it did it in style. Comfortable leather seats, a smooth ride, and an aura of old-school Mercedes class. It wasn't the fastest car, but it was the one you could trust to take you anywhere, forever. Number 1, the Toyota Hilux. And finally, the crown jewel of unkillable cars, the Toyota Hilux. This truck isn't just tough, it's the stuff of legend. Farmers love it, contractors love it, people in war zones rely on it. If you need a vehicle that refuses to die, this is the one. The Hilux is so unstoppable, the Top Gear tried to destroy one on television. They drowned it in the ocean, set it on fire, smashed it with a wrecking ball, and even dropped it off a collapsing building. And after all that, it still started. No tricks, no special effects, just pure Toyota engineering. Beyond TV stunts, Hilux trucks have proven themselves across the globe. From hauling gear in the Australian outback, to surviving deserts in the Middle East, to climbing mountains in South America, these trucks keep going when everything else breaks down. The secret, simplicity. Strong frames, durable engines, and minimal electronics mean there's just less to go wrong. It's why mechanics everywhere say, if the world ended tomorrow, the Hilux would probably still be driving around in the rubble. So there you have it, my personal top 3 cars that refuse to die. The Volvo 240, the Mercedes-Benz W123, and the Toyota Hilux. 3 very different machines, but all united by one thing: they were built to outlast generations. Now I want to hear from you. Which one of these cars would you trust to take you the distance? The brick-strong Volvo, the over-engineered Mercedes, or the indestructible Toyota Hilux? Drop your pick in the comments, and if you've ever owned one of these legends, share your story. Because at the end of the day, some cars are just transportation, but these are immortals on wheels. And these are the old-gen cars that just refuse to disappear from our streets. Now I'm curious, what's an older car you still see driving around your neighborhood? Drop your answer in the comments, I'd love to know. If you enjoyed learning about these timeless rides, hit that like button, subscribe for more car history and insights, and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss the next upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.